Just waiting for Jim and Joe to give me some good news. It's 8 o'clock. Where are you guys? Waiting for my good news. Get your fat ass online already.
We don't normally get this kind of action.
It's for us. It's just
exciting.
for us. This is the way our stream is.
Oh, dear. It's because you guys are here.
It was a legitimate call. It made sense. It was pass interference. I don't care what anybody says.
Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk from two men in the know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
You call runs when you're not supposed to, and Dak Prescott is throwing it in the dirt.
They say that it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to another episode of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, and alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's up, know-it-alls? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ready to go? Our happy holiday spectacular right here.
Yeah, definitely. We made it, Joe. We made it. You know,
Another
it's
year,
tough.
man.
Yeah, another year.
Hey, congratulations, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Another year.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy year. You know, COVID hit and everything and all that stuff. And even tonight, it's been super busy. Everybody's out there shopping and all the crazy stuff out there. But
I tell you, man, it is absolutely nuts. Like, here's the thing: the past couple of days, I mean, what any person has gone through in the past couple of days, it's been shopping, it's been battling the traffic, it's been you know, hustling, bustling for like the greatest deals you possibly can get for whatever you're going after. And man, it takes a lot out of you. It just does. And still got one more day to go. I still got to go back out there, man. I got to go back out there in the trenches. I got to go back out and fight. Just to get the last little bit of stuff that I need. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm exhausted. I know you're exhausted.
Yeah. You're doing work and you're working for Amazon and everything, so you're helping everybody get those packages out there and stuff like that. So
I'll tell you right now,
we really appreciate everybody out there.
We're delivering smiles to you guys out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we really appreciate you guys joining us with us tonight. So yeah, we have a special night for you again planned for you.
Yes.
It is our Christmas show. We can't wait to get this thing rocking and rolling for you guys out there. We like to have a lot of fun. We got the lights going and stuff. So we're gonna get cracking right into this though with you guys here tonight.
Happy holidays, everybody!
In just a little bit, but
it's awesome. I mean, here another year we get through it, right? And we got to just say thanks to everybody out there. I mean, point blank and bottom line. I mean, thanks to everybody who's supported us from the beginning.
We don't normally get this
or
kind
if
of
you're
action.
a new
It's for us.
member
It's
or a
exciting.
new know-it-all, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching our show, for commenting, for sharing your thoughts here and there. Like, you guys have really helped us out. It's awesome. We're growing as a family. We hope that you continue to help us out. Go ahead and feel free. You know anybody that likes football? I know you do. I mean, if you love football, chances
don't
are
normally
there's
get
someone
this
else
kind of
close to you
action.
that
It's for
also
us.
loves
It's
football.
exciting.
This is the way our
If you could just please
Here.
encourage them
It's
to also
because you
become
guys
a
are
know-it-all.
here.
It was a
Either
legitimate
via
call. It
YouTube
made
or
sense. It
Facebook.
was
Just
pass
search us on
interference
Football
on the
on
No
the
Show. You can hit the subscribe button on YouTube, or you can just become a member on Facebook. And as well on YouTube, if you hit the notification bell to get all our latest and greatest updated content right when it hits, you'll be able to receive that. You can also follow us on Twitter at FB_no. Everything much appreciated. Share, like, comment. We want to hear from you guys. That's what the show is geared for. We want to be interactive. We want to help you guys out. If you got an issue for fantasy, listen, Super Bowls are hitting right now. Now it's the Super Bowl time for fantasy football. So if you guys have any questions on who should I start, who should I sit, anything like that, now's the time to get them in so we can deliver them back to you, as well as your teams, you know, whether you're in the hunt for the playoffs, whether you're out of the hunt, looking forward to off-season, what does your team need in the off-season? What should you do with your coaching staff or your players or what have you? Go ahead. Just shoot us a quick question. Shoot us a comment. If you got something that you need to get off your chest, just pretend we're your therapist, because that's what we are. We're your football therapists right here. We're here to help you guys get through the year and the offseason and the draft and everything. So,
all right,
go ahead.
excellent. Yeah, thank you so much, Joe, for killing that time with me here. I had to get the restream box up there.
I don't know what
Appreciate
you're
it.
talking
Nathaniel
about.
Bickwirt is out there with us already tonight.
What's going on,
Shout
Nathaniel?
out to him. He's always there. He's there with us. So We really appreciate him joining with us today. He's been watching a lot of our shows lately, too, and he's a longtime member, too. I mean, he's been with us for a very long time.
Yeah,
he likes to talk football. He does some after shows and things like that, too, as well. All right, here we go. He goes, Facebook user. I don't know who that is, though, but there you go. It shows it up. Facebook user. I made it to the Super Bowl in 2 fantasy leagues. Well, Facebook user,
Nice.
we really appreciate that.
Nice. Awesome.
I don't know why it's not showing your name up, but we really appreciate it. And that's awesome. It's good to hear. We really appreciate you guys joining with us tonight here. And everybody on YouTube as well. Like Jim
Where's
said.
our Facebook tech?
Yeah,
Facebook tech. Get on
definitely.
this.
I don't
would
know
ya?
why. This
Come on.
checkbox is always crazy. But, all right, here we go. Let's get to the business here. Every year we do a thing called Naughty or Nice. There you go. Let's get to it. All right. And what Joe and I do is we look at either teams or players, and we tell you, what we thought they were naughty for the year, like they didn't play very well, or they didn't live up to expectations, or they were nice, or actually a good surprise, something like that. Almost like overachiever, underachiever.
Right.
But we decided to get a little different. We did both this year. So Joe is going to come up with his list of nice teams, and we're going to start off right here. Joe, why don't you give us our nice team, first one here?
All right, first one, nice. It's the Miami Dolphins. I mean, come on. I mean, a lot of people kind of, they didn't expect him to make as big of a jump so soon after they drafted Tua, but they had a lot of draft capital this past draft. Did very well in free agency as well, and you could see the big turnaround with the Miami Dolphins right now, and it looks good. I mean, we had our own predictions before the season even started, and we ourselves believed in the Miami Dolphins, and they are pushing. They are trying to make the playoffs. They are in the hunt right now. They are right on the border, right on the bubble. Let's see if they can finish off the season strong and cement that last wild card spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Dolphins, too, exactly. They're playing better than a lot of people probably thought. Again, we saw they were going to make an upgrade. And even what's scary is this season, they have the Texans pick in the first round, which is up there as well now because of how terrible that team has been playing.
Right,
So
right.
they're looking good to set up in this next season,
it's
too, as well.
absolutely
So it is
huge.
scary right now.
Absolutely. And not to mention, they're in the playoff hunt with guys injured. They're on the IR. Devontae Parker's banged up. He's out. Preston, damn it. I forgot his name. Preston.
I know, the wide receiver.
Yeah, the other wide receiver. He's out for the season. They're doing it with regardless of injuries. So that right there has got to give Miami Dolphins fans, even if for some reason they just don't cut it and make it to the playoffs this year, that's got to give you some something to boast about in the offseason, something to really look forward to, and they're going to get better after another strong offseason, another good draft. I mean, if they need to spend money in free agency, they do that, but they are a team on the rise for sure.
All right, here we go. Your next one, Joe. Who do you got here?
Oh, we got the Washington football team, also known as what Dan Snyder is considering Washington Football Club for the future name, which is I don't know what he's smoking, but it's terrible.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, Washington football team, and hey, this is a team that nobody, and I mean nobody, gave them a chance to even come close to be competing for, one, the division, and two, to be one of those competitive teams. And it seems like late in the season, they figured some things out. We already knew that they had a good defense, and man, by adding Chase Young to this already impressive defensive line and this defense, now what happens is you had guys getting injured. You had at the quarterback position, Alex Smith comes from out of the grave, so to speak, gets healed up, starts working out. It's a miraculous recovery. It's an absolute miracle that this guy is even stepping on the football field, let alone playing. And soon as he took the torch as a starting quarterback once again, he's lit it on fire. I mean, he's been really helping this team win football games. And once he stepped up, this whole team, listen, we already know the defense was good. Now the offense is getting to be average to above average to help out the defense and putting up points, and it's working. They have the winning formula right now, and Alex Smith is due to come back as soon as this week right now to hopefully they can win out the last couple of weeks. If they can do that, they pretty much got it locked up in the division.
I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
There you go. That's words
true.
to live by. So there you go. What do you got for your next nice team, Joe?
Next one, I got the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, some people might be like, oh, well, that's kind of like an easy pick. We kind of assumed that they were going to come back strong and play well. But I'll tell you right now, they had their ups and downs as well. T.Y. Hilton was injured once again. There was a big question mark with Phillip Rivers. How well was he going to play? And we've seen some pretty bad quarterback skills from Phillip Rivers late in his year, turning the ball over a lot. But luckily, they got a very stout defense, which helps out that offense that can take some of that negative plays on and be able to get the ball back for Phillip Rivers to give them extra chances. And now they seem to be clicking on offense. They seem to be getting it just right. Watch out for them going into the playoffs.
All right, I clarified it here. It's Nathaniel McWhirt is the Facebook user.
Okay.
There you go.
That's it.
And I think for some reason Restream's acting stupid again whenever it deals with YouTube and everything
Nathaniel,
else.
it's a me.
That's what it is. So it's me. We know it's you, buddy. There you go. That's awesome. Right. That's awesome. 2 Super Bowls in his fantasy leagues. There you go. That's awesome. One of our know-alls. We got a lot of know-alls that make the Super Bowl.
It's true. And I don't know. I mean,
Stephen Likens.
It could be because they're in the know. That's why it could be because they're in the know, but also it's awfully funny because you know what, Nathaniel, I'm right there with you. I'm in 3 out of 4 leagues, and 3 out of 4 leagues I've made the Super Bowl. So here we go. Wow. Let's win it all, baby.
Amazing. There you go. Good luck, Joe. All right, here
Thank
we go.
you.
What else we got here?
All right, now we got the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
The Browns were kind of that team where last year the hype train was huge, and everybody was like jumping on board right away, thinking, oh, they're going to win the division. Some of us were kind of like, yeah, I'm not ready to jump on that wagon just yet, and sure enough, last season they kind of derailed, fell right off the cliff, and it was just an absolute disaster. But this year, they're proving a lot of people wrong. I still kind of believed in Cleveland and thought that they could turn it around, but if Kevin Stefanski got the offense right, and here's the kicker. Without Odell, this offense is clicking like no other. I mean, this offense, Baker Mayfield doesn't have the pressure of having to feel like he has to throw it to him all the time like Matt Ryan throws to Julio Jones. It's almost like you could see it from Baker in his play on the football field. He's spreading the ball around. He's throwing it to the tight end. He's throwing it to both tight ends, Austin Hooper, David Njoku. He's throwing to Jarvis Landry. He's throwing to Rashard Higgins. He's just throwing the ball all over the place and spreading the ball around. And when you got 2 backs like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, I mean, this team is hitting on all cylinders on offense. Their defense is good. Could be better. Could play better. But nonetheless, they're getting the job done. They're right now winning the division right now. They are in first place in the division.
They're still second. They're right behind.
Are they?
Yeah, they're right behind the Steelers.
That's right. They only got 1 loss, right?
If the Steelers lose. Yeah, if the Steelers lose here, they could be tied, and they'll have it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I got a little excited.
I know.
You're
excited for them. They are a really nice
But yeah,
team right
so
now,
I mean, they're another team that they're on the nice list this
and
year.
they get Denzel Ward back too. So I mean, he's
that's a huge
absolutely. That'll help out that defense as well. So Joe, let's get up into your naughty list now. Who's been naughty this year, Joe?
Naughty. I mean, it's got to be the 49ers. This is a team that everybody thought that was going to be making that strong push for yet another Super Bowl chase here. And in the 49ers, I mean, they had everything in the beginning of the season, minus Richard Sherman. And it just seemed to the wheels started to wobble and kind of like almost fall apart a little bit here. The 49ers, because of injuries, because of play that isn't as sharp on the football field as we normally see. Kyle Shanahan and his offense at times struggling with Jimmy G as the quarterback. And now Jimmy G gets hurt yet again. He leaves, and in comes in Nick Mullins. And Nick Mullins is doing just enough, becoming that game manager with the weapons around him to try to get this offense humming, but they just can't get it done. The defense can't hold off offenses for as long as they would like to get those ample opportunities, and because of that, this team is just struggling straight up.
Yeah. Nathaniel McWhirt says here, Browns will win it. Steelers play the Colts this week. So I think
it's a good one.
I think that is correct.
That is correct.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, that's a tough one. Steelers are reeling right now, and I know everybody wants to be on Big Ben right now and say that he's the reason, and he has lost it now, so they need to move on. I know that right after that game, he comes out, he's like, "Oh, by the way, good news, everybody, I'm sticking around." You know what I mean? So it's perfect timing.
Unless there's a change of heart.
And I was feeling the same way. Everybody else kind of reacted the same way because you saw the mistakes that he made and stuff like that. But I mean, when you look at it, stat-wise too, he's always been that same type of guy. We also saw the one game, I think, a season or two ago where he threw like 6 interceptions in 2 weeks or something like that. It was something ridiculous.
Or in a game?
Yeah. It was ridiculous, and but he still bounces back. But the thing is that offensive line so banged up right now, they need to rework that. And you see the difference here with the effect of Juju Smith-Schuster not being that real true number one guy. And if he doesn't clean his act up in a sense too, he's not going to get paid, and he might not be that guy. Because you know what? A favorite target of Big Ben right now is Deontay Johnson. And this week he worked hard on not dropping, and it paid off for him.
Yeah, the only problem with Deontay Johnson is he does have inconsistent hands. Now, listen, he's worked very hard on catching the football, even up to this week, especially. He really was like practicing pre-game, like doing all kinds of different difficult catches and whatnot, what have you. But in the end, he's just not going to be good enough going forward to be that starter long term. And who is their draft pick in Chase Claypool, who, if you tuned into our draft show, we showed you an exclamation point on this guy about how he's going to be a special player, and he is developing pretty rapidly already as one of those big-time receivers. Now, you mentioned Juju possibly not being a Steeler, and that's true because there has been rumors that the Steelers as an organization might not want to spend huge amount of money to retain Juju going forward. If that's the case, especially with the emergence of Chase Claypool, listen, we already know the Pittsburgh Steelers are great at finding receivers. So they're not really worried about, if they do move on from Juju, they're just going to go ahead and find the next best receiver in the draft. That's what they do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what they're known for. All right, who do you got on your next on the naughty list, Joe?
I got the LA Chargers. They're a little disappointment. I mean, for some people out there, to be honest, you looked at that defense, from the beginning of the season. Yes, it was minus Derwin James, but even just minus Derwin James, this team looked like they were ready to win now, almost. Yes, they were still got to go through a little bit of a quarterback decision, and they picked the wrong one to start right away in Tyrod Taylor. But Justin Herbert, man, as a rookie, he is super impressive in his first year. Now let's see what he can do in his second year. If he can improve, this team has not only found the quarterback, but when you get your leader, your cue for the offense, you greatly change this organization for the near future. And with all these weapons that they have, all they got to do is build around them, and they are going to be a dangerous team in the near future.
All right, here. Next up you have in your naughty list.
Now the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not? This is a team that was expected to improve. Again, I'm not saying that they were going to be they're Super Bowl contenders. No. I thought for sure that this team was going to be, no doubt, pushing for the playoffs at least and making it pretty easily. I didn't think it was going to be that difficult, but the thing that held this team back was definitely the defensive side of the ball. The D coordinator was absolutely atrocious all year long, didn't make adjustments. His scheme was horrible. And one of the fewest blitzing teams in the league. You need to put pressure. If your front four can't get it done, you need to send extra guys. And he refused to do so. But here's the thing, is John Gruden waited way too long to make that decision to fire him right now, to try to shake things up. Now you only got a couple weeks out. It looks like you're going to be ended up on the outside looking into the playoffs. And another thing, too, is for Gruden. It's also Gruden's fault. I mean, when you run the ball on every single first down of the season, it's not a secret to anybody. You're giving up a down right there. So you, too, Gruden, have made poor offensive play calls as well. And in turn, it's hurting your football team. So Raiders, I thought for sure were maybe not going to win the division, but definitely should have been a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, and they're still right there on the cusp, and still second in the division where we thought they might be. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Just need help
Underwhelming
now.
some of the games that they have.
They definitely need help though.
Uh,
now. They got to not only win this week against the Dolphins, which are ahead of them right now, but then they got to hope the Dolphins lose the following
They almost
week.
lost to the Jets, and things like that.
And they got to hope the Ravens lose the next two.
Yeah, speaking of the Jets here, Nathaniel says, I heard that Sam Darnold could possibly go to Pittsburgh in the offseason. Could you see that happening, Joe?
Honestly, I think you're going to hear a lot of rumors now with Sam Darnold, with various players. And to me, I ignore everything. Like right now, there's just going to be rumors floating around like, oh, Darnold could be traded here and this could happen and this guy could be moved. Yes, some rumors might be true, but as of right now, it's way too early in the offseason. You got to see what teams are really going to go after. And if the Jets are going to trade Darnold, which I think would be the wrong move, to be honest, I think for the Jets, it's real simple. You fire your GM, you fire your head coach, you get a new GM, new head coach, and then going into the draft, you don't use that draft pick. Right now they're picking second overall because they won last week, and the Jags are still losers. But yeah, the Jets right now, with the smartest thing to do is trade that pick. Sam Darnold's not a terrible quarterback, especially if you give him weapons, if you give him an offensive line to protect him, if you give him a running back. There's a lot of things that they still don't have on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, they got a few, receivers like Brashad Perryman and Jamison Crowder and Denzel Mims, the rookie, who looks like he's a promising rookie going forward. And I really like Mims. I think he's going to develop to be something special. And then also defensively, you got a big gaping hole right now where you traded away Jamal Adams now at safety. Now you need to go find a replacement. You need to get corners. You need to get better corners. You need to get a new D coordinator already. You fired him. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that you still need to be, decided on. It still need to be adjusted and fine-tuned. So for the Jets, I don't see Darnold being traded right now.
Right, and for Pittsburgh, I don't see a real win with that one either, too, again, because, what do they really have to gain with that whole thing, to get Darnold?
You're still got to wait for Big Ben to retire.
Right. Ben's going to be there again, too, and then what, you're going to try and – because I think still there's a question out there about Darnold still with Jets fans, with the public in general, is can he be a franchise quarterback even, too? So I don't think the way the organization with the Pittsburgh Steelers is even going to wait around to figure that out even right now with what they have. They've been a franchise that has basically been full steam ahead. They draft pretty well, at least in wide receivers, and haven't had to worry about the quarterback situation right now. And I think they'll assess it as it comes. And there's going to be some other free agents out there that might be a little more enticing, and they'll just do it that way.
And not to mention free agents, but also, look at the Andy Dalton situation. Are the Cowboys are they gonna go all in and sign Dak, which is what everybody's expecting, and let Andy Dalton walk? And if Andy Dalton's available, I'm sorry, but if you need a quarterback, there's a guy you could pick right off of the free agent heap, right off the top of my head, and he could easily just fit right in and be your starter. The other thing, too, is Sam Darnold. The thing to watch with Pittsburgh is it's all about if Big Ben retires. If Big Ben doesn't retire, they're not going to be even looking for another quarterback. So that's going to be the thing. That's why I say wait and see what happens in the offseason. Big Ben looks like he's pretty happy right now. He's got a new weapon in Chase Claypool. Juju's there for right now. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that situation. But hey, he's got a good offense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here we go, Joe. Thanks for the question out there, Nathaniel. We really appreciate it. Anybody else have any comments, questions out there, whether it be about naughty or nice too? Let us know out there. We really appreciate the feedback. By the way,
oh my Lord,
we got Swervo Gaming is in the house talking about fantasy guys and champions. Swervo's in the house.
What's going on, Swervo? Hey,
Swervo.
How you doing in fantasy, bro?
Yeah, absolutely.
We know that you're a big fantasy guy.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Nathaniel in the house. He's in 2 championships right now. So we wish him the best of luck. We have a few others that are out there, too, in their fantasy doing well. We really appreciate it out there. So, yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Playing for the
champ.
Yes.
There you go. See? Yeah, yes. There you go, Swervo. Hit it up. That's what we do, baby.
Rock and roll.
All right. So, yeah, right now we're doing our naughty and nice list, at least with teams right now. Joe's hitting it up here. Finally, for his last naughty team, he's got
That's right. I got the Baltimore Ravens. This is a team that a lot of people expected to not only take another jump to become more of an elite team, more of a team that everybody fears across the league. Don't get me wrong. People are a little wary about them when they play them. Ravens got usually a pretty stout defense. Lamar Jackson is a joystick on the football field. He's very hard to tackle in the open field and whatnot with his mobility. But I really thought that Lamar Jackson should have taken another step forward in the passing game just to be that more lethal. And I didn't see that this year. I saw Lamar Jackson early in the season struggle a little bit with the offense. And some people went as far to say as maybe teams have figured out how to play Baltimore's offense. That triple option run / pass, like you don't know what's coming at you when. But it looks like in the past couple of weeks, after he's come back, he was on the COVID list for a little while. He came back and everything, and now he seems like he's healthy, and it looks like they're playing much better. Lamar Jackson's playing much better. The offense is better, but the defense looks like it has some holes here and there. Yeah, you could say that because of injuries and whatnot, but Lamar Jackson, I definitely thought they were gonna pass more. That's what we were told by John Harbaugh in the offseason. They look to become more balanced, and it seems to me like they're reverting back to what was working last season. And in the last couple of weeks, it seems like it's working so far. So this is a team that I thought was going to dominate, much like the Chiefs have. The Chiefs only have one loss on their record. I thought Baltimore was going to be right up there with them. And Pittsburgh was a pleasant surprise on how well they're lighting up the league, too.
There you go. Here's some stats here quick on Lamar Jackson. Again, this is his career now. He's a 62.7% career. His win-loss is only 35-32-1. And 113 touchdowns and 50 interceptions. This is what we're talking about here. And the rate of an 89.2. Yeah. So, I mean, an elite runner and an athlete. I mean, amazing. It was amazing when he came in back into that game after he had cramps or whatever, and they were down. Like McSorley came in and they came back, and it was like WWE, dude. I swear to God, it was like worse than the movie because McSorley's down. Now. They're like, oh no, he's down. Who are they going to even put out there? And like you heard Stone Cold's music go. He's like, oh, it's Lamar Jackson. He's coming back into the game. Oh, here he comes. Oh, and then boom, and the big play, and oh man, all bedlam happened. It was amazing. That was pretty crazy. But
here's the craziest thing about that game is the Browns' defense could have handled that before Lamar got out there. Because Trace McSorley was the quarterback for that last series. If they made him go 3 and out, they had a
he had to
third down.
go in for the fourth down play.
Right.
But, yeah.
And it's like they could have handled business, and they just didn't.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Swervo says, he's like, LOL, who will make the playoffs, Redskins or Giants? It's up in the air. I'm going to say Cowboys.
I will say if Alex Smith can remain healthy and it looks like he's coming back this week, I say Redskins.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know it's not the Giants because they're even banged up as it is. They're getting some guys to come back right now.
I will give the Giants some
they got
props,
a tougher schedule. I mean, they got to play the Ravens this week. So, I mean, that's going to be a tough game.
I think it's admirable what the Giants have been able to do with the defense is playing much better. And without Saquon Barkley and the full cast, they've been doing pretty damn well. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the record, okay, it's a losing record, but so isn't everybody in that division. But they're on the right track for sure. And I'd love to see Joe Judge this coming off season to see what he can do with this offense and what they can strengthen up, like especially offensive line. They get another big time offensive lineman, whether it be free agency or draft, and then capitalize on that. Maybe another receiver. I think that they got things are looking good.
You know what I just noticed is, and now Nathaniel says, Redskins, you guys.
You've been a naughty boys, and I'm going to spank you.
You're very naughty. You guys, they're no longer the Redskins. They are the Washington football team. We need to watch this now. We need to be politically correct on this. All right, here we go. I thought Haskins looked pretty good when he had to fill in, to be honest, as Swervo says. He looks okay at times, but again, he can't get out of his own way. I mean, with the antics when he's not on the field, with saying certain things, disgruntled about the team, and then now with the whole thing going to strip club after a loss, and then not wearing a face covering and things, and being, photographed, people knowing that you're there. I mean, you have to represent the team. And I feel as a guy that needs to, like, he got benched, all right? You were supposed to be kind of the guy that you're not Ron Rivera's guy, but you're young. You trim down. You got to show them that, here, I belong here. I'm going to be your next franchise quarterback. And you get beat out by Kyle Allen, and then, Alex Smith comes in and is able to take over. Now you get your opportunity to shine, and you go and screw up out of the thing again. You should be working hard, showing up to the, to the facility early, watching the film, making sure you're there, doing all the right things outside of it and inside. And he's not.
I'll disagree with that because I think
you're wrong.
He is at practice. It's not like he's skipping meetings or anything like that.
I don't think he's working hard at all. Or else he'd be out there.
Obviously, he's working hard. I mean, the whole off season.
Yeah, he's third stringer now.
He trimmed his weight and everything. And here's the thing: is you bring up Ron Rivera as not his guy.
Weight doesn't mean I'm a better athlete.
Of course, he's not his guy. He's a different coach that just came in. Yeah, you're not going to win. It wasn't his guy. That's why he brought Kyle Orton in and freaking had him start. So, I mean, that's really what it is. Kyle Allen.
Yeah, Kyle Orton would be better, too.
No, come on, man.
Not? Yeah.
No, because this is a new offense, too. That's the thing. You got to have time with a quarterback, especially a new quarterback. And if any kind of a new offense, we've seen the same thing with Marcus Mariota and other quarterbacks. When you bring in a new offense, it's a whole other learning stage. They have to relearn a whole new offense and get all the checks and balances down in order to execute them. So if you're going to just automatically write them off because of one season under a new offense, it doesn't make any sense. You need to develop them. And Ron Rivera, yes, it's not his quarterback. That's why he felt more comfortable bringing in Kyle Allen, because he knew his offense from Carolina. And that's why he ended up starting. You give him a couple years in the same offense, he would probably be the one starting right now. And that's the thing. Not to mention, I mean, you can.
We shall see.
We already saw Kyle Allen fail as a starter. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the greatest. And Alex Smith comes in. He's more of a game manager. He doesn't make mistakes.
Well, he made enough this year, too. I mean, he's not playing the best.
Hey, he's
out
wins
there,
games.
so that's amazing.
He's winning games.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
The defense is winning games, but, yeah, he's out there
but they're
during the
putting
wins.
Points on the board is the thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
With Alex Smith
with the defense,
points,
Chase Young picked up a fumble and took it for a touchdown. Yes.
Right, but Alex Smith is putting points up on the board, giving the defense time to rest, so when they come on, they're way more fresher and they can take on these offensive opponents. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing.
We shall see. Absolutely. Yeah. So Swervo is in the house. He says, and to be honest, I think Colt McCoy is better than Daniel Jones. Yeah, I don't think so. No. You saw how Colt McCoy was last week, and how did he do for you? He didn't do very well. I don't think so. He has a certain skill set, and it doesn't play to what the Giants are trying to do. And Daniel Jones, you need him out there. He can make more plays with his legs and throws a better deep ball. So, I mean, yes, Colt McCoy has the experience.
The problem with Daniel Jones has always been what? Turnovers. It's always been turnovers. Fumbling, turning the ball over, throwing picks. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least Colt McCoy, yeah, he's a little bit more of a seasoned veteran, so he's not going to turn the ball over as much. And I think that's why that's where Swervo was going with that, because it's more of a stable offense.
It's his opinion. That's my opinion. His opinion. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We're having a good time here, Joe. It's Christmas.
Happy holidays.
So there you go. There's the naughty or nice teams right there that we got. All right, so that means we're gonna get to my list now, Joe. Here we go. What do we got?
I don't know. I'm waiting.
We're going to go to the naughty list. Here we go. Let's look at my naughty list. Let's go to naughty first, all right? Naughty. Here we go. I'm going to go with first. This might surprise you for some people out there, okay? I'm going with Will Lutz. What do you think of that, Joe? Will Lutz on my naughty list because, again, this is a guy who has been tried and true for the Saints. He's been their kicker for years. He's been the one that took them to the Super Bowl and won that last final kick to get them there against the Colts. And this season, though, he's only kicking about 80%. And for kickers these days, that is not acceptable at all. Missing within 40 to 49 yardage range. I mean, he's usually lights out there. And
Right.
what's funny though, it's most of them are due to not being in when he's not home. Yes, he's a dome kicker now, it seems like. It just, when he's not in the dome, it affects him a lot more often here. But for his career here, this is his lowest in his career, that he is kicked 80%, only made 80% of his kicks. So I have to put Will Lutz, the kicker, on the naughty list.
I mean, Will Lutz, he probably should be on the naughty list because this is a kicker that is seen as one of the best, if not the best kicker in the league. And if you're going to be titled as such, you need to deliver every time, all the time. I mean, he needs to be good outside and in the dome. He needs to be able to hit those kicks. Listen, if it's not a 67-yarder, you should be making it all the time. Like he's that good. He's a guy that's actually carried the Saints at times in one game single-handedly. Just being able to kick those deep kicks and making them routinely.
Absolutely. We have Mike Tackett in the house with us tonight. Mike Tackett says, Merry Christmas Eve, you filthy animals. Too bad the NFL can't put the best 6 teams in each conference in the playoffs instead of this dumpster fire structure they have in place.
I agree.
Cleveland will get in as a wild card team despite having the 5th best record in the NFL, whereas an 8-8 team that doesn't even have a name will also get in as a wild card. Good grief, Charlie Brown. There you go. Pulls out the Charlie Brown reference there. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about this earlier on in the season when we were looking at the NFC. There you go. There's some. That's the NFL coming up with the playoff system.
Yes. Sounds about right.
Right. So, but we talked about this, how there's going to be a team in the AFC that has a better record than any, the NFC East, and not make it to the playoffs still, even though they added another team to be able to make it to the playoffs.
Right.
Somebody's going to get snubbed again. Somebody's going to be upset that they're not in there. So there you go. Check this out. Nathaniel says that Will Lutz is the kicker for one of his fantasy teams. So there you go. The ones that are in the championship by you, so I mean, maybe he's worked out for you.
He is for me
there,
too.
So yeah, well there you go. So I mean, you've seen it there. I mean, he's probably, has he done enough for you though that you're satisfied with him as your kicker? So
no.
There you go.
I expect nothing but the best from my kicker.
Will Lutz. There you go. I hear you. All right, so let's get back to my naughty list.
What else we got?
Here we go. I've got Cam Newton on my naughty list. Okay,
boy.
Everybody knows our history with Cam
easy.
Newton here, but this year especially, he's just totally
naughty.
bad.
You're teasing me. You naughty.
Yeah. He's been naughty. A guy who had something to prove. You're playing with the Patriots. Good coaching. They tailor a system to you. You played every game except for the one you missed because of positive testing of COVID. And you couldn't get up to your caliber. You still have like 5 a touchdown pass, I think, and 9 interceptions still. You have more picks than you have touchdowns. Terrible passing yardage. Terrible completion percentage. It's just altogether bad. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so he hasn't
sir.
been able to, for a guy that has something to prove, he hasn't been there for him. And if you look at this. What the hell is he doing with his hair? Like, I have never seen anything like this before in my life.
I think I've seen it on a horror flick.
Well, the thing is, it's like sticking straight up something that's like out of the ordinary. Like, it kind of reminds me of something I've seen before, and I'm going to bring it up right here, Joe. What do you think of this? There's something about Mary. He is sharing the same hairstyle that Mary had, and there's something about Mary. And maybe that's what he's going for. I just don't get it. But
you think
maybe
he does it the same way, though?
I don't know. But just for that, I think he should be on my naughty list either way, just because of that hairstyle.
Not to mention, like, this is something that we already knew was going to happen. I mean, Patriots fans were like, "Oh, we got Cam. We're going to the Super Bowl." No, you're not. You just got one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. A guy that throws more picks than touchdowns. A guy that he heavily utilizes his legs because he can't win games with just his arm. He has to be the mobile guy. He can't hit receivers in tight windows. We've seen it in Carolina. We've seen the evidence. They went out specifically and drafted and obtained tall, big receivers for him because they knew, Ron Rivera when he was there in Carolina, they knew that any kind of passes, they needed to have big targets so he could just throw it up to them in certain spots and they could jump up and make the play. That's why. Now he's in New England. What do? They throw the ball short sometimes and to high percentage throws. And even he is screwing up throws down the football field because he's never been good at dropping it. No touch on the ball, no anticipation to throw receivers. He's just that bad. And now we can finally say, everybody saw it now. Everybody's seen it in New England. An organization that's so well run, other teams model themselves after them. And now, if New England can't get it done and can't make this guy a winner, then it's time to get moving on.
Absolutely. Nathaniel says, yeah, some Cowboys fans are saying that too. He says, I know. He goes, thank you. Cam is terrible. I have been saying that from the start of this season. There you go.
My man.
That's it. Hey, we're glad you agree with us. You know, we've been trying to say this for the last 3 years.
I think 3 years ago. We were getting arguments with
Nobody
funny.
would.
Yeah, we have a couple old sound bites from our old podcast, from that. But, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, here we go. Next on my naughty list, everybody had to knew it was coming, but it's Carson Wentz. For multiple things, and I was pulling for this guy too, even though I am a Giants fan. He plays for the Eagles. But again, the turnovers that he's having, the mental mistakes, the thing to where he's like puts everything in his shoulders to where I don't trust any of my receivers, so I'm going to run, and then I'm getting hit and all this other blah blah. But then even now the whining to where I'm not going to be a starter. I think I could be a starter somewhere, so I want to be traded, and all that other stuff. And it just makes me just like I really dislike this guy, and he's just been playing bad, and he hasn't played this well, he hasn't played well since 3 years ago, I think.
When he was
what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, yeah, the year after. The first year wasn't even really that good. His second year in the season, when he had Frank Reich, that's why a lot of people are tying him that maybe he can get traded.
Go to Indy.
Or go to Indy. They can maybe fix the ship here for him. And I'm sure now that he wants to be traded, I'm sure that's one of his destinations.
Well, he might get his wish.
But, he might be getting what he wants there out of it also. Who knows? He could be super happy. That's him, right? He's Frank Reich, and then he's doing this right now.
Yeah, because, look it. We've seen a glimpse, a sliver of plays about Jalen Hurts, right? Playing in the games. Yeah, he looks nice and spectacular, but so didn't Lamar Jackson look great. And, everybody doesn't know what Jalen Hurts is right now. He has legs. He can throw the football. He makes those decisions. So he's become more of a dual threat, which Wentz could have been, but it just came down to decision making. Wentz, for whatever reason, has kind of just derailed all his development, all his traits that he was building up. It seems like he's just not that guy anymore. And I don't know if it's because of the injuries piling up. Maybe that has something to do with him in his play. Or if it's just up in his head, if mentally he's just not in check and doing the necessary things that he needs to do.
I agree.
So, absolutely. Carson Wentz has to be on the naughty list this year. And Carson, you might get your wish because if the Eagles really like what they see from Hurts, bye-bye.
Sit down.
There you go. All right, so next on my naughty list, I have Drew Lock here from
Drew Lock,
the Broncos.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you don't hear those people chirping about the Broncos being good this year.
Yeah.
Where did all that go in the beginning of the season? Remember that, Joe?
Nathaniel, let us know if you got one. Go ahead and spit it out.
Yeah. Anybody, have you got somebody on the list? If it's not even up here yet, you got somebody. Let us hear it. Absolutely.
Isn't that funny how everybody
the surprise team, the Broncos. Watch out for them this year.
The Broncos.
What happened?
The Broncos were like the Browns last year. The hype train was all craziness. Watch out for this team.
They didn't even get together yet.
I know.
That's what I mean. New receivers. It's like
they were like,
Melvin
watch
Gordon
out for this
the
team. They got Jerry Jeudy. They got KJ Hamler. They got guys coming out of their
Jerry
ass.
Jeudy been?
And not to mention, Demaryius Thomas. He also was going to be a big person to watch out for this organization, and he went down. I'm sorry, but all this hype that was built up, they got Melvin Gordon in the offseason and Phillip Lindsay to pair him up, and everything sounded great. And then the defense are like, oh, well, they got Vic Fangio in this defense and Von Miller and all. Listen, we've already seen Denver with the same personnel. They're great against the run. Not so great against the pass. And offensively, with Drew Lock is like injury prone. We can label him that right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is.
He's been injury prone, and he's also been one of those quarterbacks that have not always made the right decision. He's turned the ball over before several times. So I just don't know. I've been saying this from the start. John Elway needs to be fired as a GM because his job when they brought him in, not only is he a legend in Denver, we all get that. But he was supposed to turn this organization around and make it that division-winning, Super Bowl-chasing Bronco team that they used to have. And he's had enough years as Denver Broncos GM to make that turnaround. And he can't even find the quarterback. And two, it just seems like he just can't build a team right.
And see, this is what's great about Nathaniel here. And I'm not saying it's because of us or anything like that, too. It's just he is just like us. We all relate. We relate to each other out there. He says, I don't judge quarterbacks until their third year. He knows how you kind of do it. You go by the rule. You follow as it goes. You can't be like jump right on it their first season there. Usually you got your 3 years, then you can evaluate. We actually did a segment like a year or so, or earlier this season from 3 drafts ago. We did our 2017 draft.
Right.
And we graded that draft class this season. That's the way we do it too. So we're totally in agreement with you there too. And yeah, you get the whole kind of package of what you can see their body of work to evaluate what they had. Sometimes Joe and I have discussed it before and disagreed, at times too, with you get a quarterback, he gets multiple coaches in there, and then he doesn't perform as well. So was it that he had to learn different playbooks? Was he just not that good? We don't know. But, I mean, it's tough to evaluate them, and you don't know until maybe you see him with another organization or another franchise to see how they pan out.
Right, and when you do that...
Look at Marcus Mariota right now. At least last game, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, and that's it's his first year with that offense and everything, and you know that they scaled that playbook back for him to play, and he did a great job with the RPOs and what have you. Had some nice throws, ran the ball when he needed to, and made the right decision. So maybe if that continues, maybe he'll be a great backup or trade bait. I mean, to be honest with you, because I know a lot of people out there right now are saying, "Oh, wait a second." Marcus Mariota looks pretty good in his first game. Let's see what happens if he plays this week. If he looks good again, then people are going to start saying, "Oh, well, maybe you should get rid of Carr or and have Mariota as your starter." I don't think that's the right move. But nonetheless, it does happen. Guys do need to be developed. Too often, teams kind of skip a step with guys and kind of write them off right away, especially if you're changing the offense almost every season. A guy can never get adjusted right away and be that difference maker. So, long story short, I mean, you need to work with the quarterbacks. Drew Lock is one of those guys. I'm sorry, but the guy just gets so injured so often. It's going to be hard for him to not only develop his own game, but if you can't stay on the football field, then what good are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And Nathaniel says coaching staff needs to go. Yeah, maybe. I mean, because there was a time, too, where Vic Fangio seemed like he was out of touch with the way some of the other guys were going. Back last season when Joe Flacco was with him, he had voiced something like that before. Gary Kubiak, I think it is, was running the show now there for the offense right now, right? So,
Kubiak's with the Vikings.
Yeah, he's with the Vikings. That's what I'm thinking. I get confused.
Yeah, I know.
But it's who knows? Maybe they do need a revamp there. Maybe Vic Fangio. I tell you what. Chicago's missing Vic Fangio right now.
Oh, yeah, the defense isn't the same.
Set. Maybe he just goes
same
right
players
back in over there. Who knows?
Same players, and they're not as dominating as they once were. Vic Fangio, I will say this. He's a defensive-minded guy, so your defense should be better. Mm-hmm. The Broncos are not better. Mm-hmm. They're about the same. It's almost – it's funny. They're great against the run now, but they're not as good as they once were against the pass. So – take that, for whatever you will.
Right.
But
we've got John Turner's in the house, Joe. John Turner is in the house.
What's going on, John?
He's replying to Mike Tackett here. He says Cleveland is winning that division and hosting Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
Ding, motherfucker.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who knows? Yeah. It
John's
seems like
calling it out.
He is. He calls. He's the hot take man. But he knows what he's talking about, though.
He does.
He knows what he's talking about deep there in Washington, in the Maryland area. Oh, yeah, John Turner, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, my friend, too, as well. It's good to see you. Pat Shermer is the offensive coordinator. That's right. I remember. I knew it was somebody I didn't like. I knew it. I should have known that, too, yes.
I thought you were a big fan of him in New York.
I love that guy. Yeah, that guy's freaking brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he'll go back to Minnesota, too. Who knows? All right, but yeah, so happy holidays, John Turner. It's good to see you there with us here tonight. All right, so here we go. Let's get back to the naughty list here. Speaking of guys, I have J.J. Watt here on the naughty list, too, as well. A guy who takes up a lot of that salary there for the Houston Texans. And
not a lot of production.
Not a lot of production. And this one, you can't even blame injuries so much. You know what I mean? You can't blame injuries.
He's been fairly healthy this year.
He's been fairly healthy. Yeah, absolutely. Him and Merciless, they've been there. And yes, the offense, even though they have missed DeAndre Hopkins and stuff, Deshaun Watson's playing lights out football right now. He's not even getting talked about. He's playing pretty well. He's up there, and his accuracy's there, and not even peep just because he's there with the Texans. And now there's no real storylines there. Bill O'Brien's gone, so everybody's just under the radar. That's because the team's terrible. Nobody wants to bring it up. But the offense is playing well, but that defense is what's struggling now with them. And J.J. Watt, it's so bad enough that he's out there on Twitter promoting his brother, T.J. Watt, out there for, Pro Bowl and all this other stuff. And look at this guy's stats. Give this guy his due.
And it's funny, too, because J.J. Watt, at the end of this year, it wouldn't surprise me at all because now they're at the stage in his contract where the Texans could cut him and let him go and save some cap room, and he would become a free agent. So if someone wanted to roll the dice and hope that he can stay healthy another year, go ahead and sign him. But again, J.J. Watt, not as productive, not as dominant. Yes, we get it. Like he's getting older. He's had his fair share of injuries, but nonetheless, he's not getting it done this year.
All right, finally on my naughty list, here we go. It's got to be Josh Gordon now. He made the naughty list. Here you go. It's everything he's done throughout his career.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, this guy. It's just every time he gets reinstated, he does something, and then he's not. Like he was coming back this time, and still screws it up somehow, man. And this guy, what's frustrating too, is he had all the talent given to him. Didn't really have a whole lot of, play field on the time on the field to show it, and even get better and be one of the best of all time, maybe at wide receiver.
He was for a short time.
And
with Cleveland.
Yeah, and he still has a Super Bowl ring though. And he's played maybe 2 seasons full. You can count them all together. I don't know. It's like the amount of games he has in, and the chances that he's got. Meanwhile, some of these other guys you want to annex and get rid of a blacklist. I've never been a strong supporter of the whole Colin Kaepernick support stream and all this other stuff, but. You know what I mean? He's not allowed back in the league, and not even given a chance. But Josh Gordon can come back, after every little thing he's done and everything. He just gets in his own way. So he's just naughty. Naughty list. Have I ran it enough? All right, there we go. All right, John Turner. Watt has no more guaranteed money on his deal. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
So that's what he said. He's not could.
Yeah.
Will. There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
John Turner dropping the hits there again.
But I want to talk about Josh Gordon here. Here's a guy that when he was with Cleveland, he was one of those all-pro receivers. He was electric. You couldn't stop him. He was another one of those elite wide receivers in the league. And then in a short time, all of a sudden, he couldn't put down the weed. He just couldn't do it. So he kept getting suspended again. Now it's like his 23rd. I don't know what it is. It's up there. I don't know a single player besides him that's gotten more chances to play in this league. It's been absolutely insane. So for him to not only come back, initially, and then in the same week. The NFL's like, wait a second. Nope, you haven't done everything you needed to do off the field to play. So now you cannot play. Do not pass, go. Do not collect $200. Go the fuck home.
There you go. Absolutely. There you go. So, it just sums it up all with that sound bite right here. It just...
What an idiot.
Yes.
Oh, what a loser.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Good.
Bye. Yeah, all right, there you go. So there's my naughty list, and let's get rolling right into it. Let's get to the nice guys here.
There you go,
All right,
nice
first
guys
of all, he
now.
was on my list last year. He's on my list again. Number 1 here, nice, Nick Chubb. This guy just is
my
like
God.
it's like one of those old school running backs. Even when I see him run, he reminds me almost. I don't know if it name like a certain particular player, but it just head down, knows the holes to hit, plays. Shuts his mouth, and he's one of the upper echelon running backs.
100%.
And isn't mouthy, isn't bragging, shares time with Kareem Hunt, another great running back, and still is able to produce and just get the job done. And he is amazing out there. 2 back-to-back seasons of lights out running.
Absolutely an amazing running back. Great balance, great vision, tough to bring down. He breaks tackles left and right. I mean, he can catch the ball in the backfield if you need him to. He can block for you. He can do everything well and makes guys miss. I mean, he's definitely one of the elite, one of the best running backs in the league today.
Absolutely. Nathaniel McWhird has a comment, Joe. Let's see
What's he got?
has to say. Go ahead.
The Chargers kicker is on my naughty list. I can't remember his name. That is how was he? How relevant he is.
Yeah, right.
9 missed field goals. That is too much. 9 missed field goals. I mean, but was he really seen as one of those like really good kickers? You know what I mean? Like when you think of like a Will Lutz, and you think of like a Justin Tucker, like those guys come to mind because they're like those elite guys. They're supposed to be the guy that no matter what amount of pressure, no matter what kind of element they're kicking in, they're expected to make the field goal that counts. I just don't. I don't see the Chargers kicker as one of those guys. But nonetheless, I mean, hey, whatever. If that's your guy in your naughty list. Yeah, you can't miss 9 field goals.
Michael Badgley, I think, is their kicker, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what I mean.
He's-
They've always kind of had that issue. We've
Yeah.
seen many games this season
It's
and even
always-
past seasons to where a game is decided just on that kick and they miss it. And
Here's the
it's-
funny
it's the
thing:
difference
is that the
between a win or loss.
Chargers did have Young Ho Koo
Yeah.
before and listen, I get it. He wasn't kicking well. He missed a bunch of field goals, and that's kind of why they let him go, right? But if they stuck with him, if they kind of worked with him and developed him another year, you're seeing Atlanta now that has him. He's just killing it. Now, it could be, you could say maybe it's because he's indoors, but it seems like this year, no matter where they've played, he's done his job, and he's done it well. So, Young Ho Koo, kudos to you, my guy.
Kudos to you. I like it. That rhymes. All right, here we go. Let's go. Here's my other guy. I have James Robinson out here for rookie running back here playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This guy has been lights out, and again, he gets snubbed for the Pro Bowl. And
how does he get snubbed?
And-
This is the thing. There's several players
right.
that should have made the Pro Bowl roster, but because it's a popularity contest and everybody goes with the big name every single year.
Yeah, but popularity count. How the hell did Evan Ingram make the damn Pro Bowl? How does that happen? I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever.
he's
You know
in
what I
there.
mean?
Like I said, he doesn't deserve to be. He's another guy. Doesn't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Doesn't deserve to be there,
No.
but somehow he gets voted in.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't get it.
That's the thing. It's like, here's the thing: it's a third of the vote is fans. A third of the vote is like the league, like coaches and GMs and front office people, and then another third is the players. How many players do you think are friends with Evan Ingram? Probably a lot, right? There's probably some fan favorite people that just like him for his athletic ability, so they just vote him in. And that's what happens with the fan side of the votes. You see a lot of them, they don't really, watch all these individual players and see how good they and how special they are. You look at DeForest Buckner. He's another guy that got shafted, for not being in the Pro Bowl. He was absolutely amazing this year for the Colts. Amazing. And he's not an All-Pro. How does that figure? You know what I mean? There's several guys. It's just absolutely crazy. I think they need to just take the voting away from fans. Like, that's one thing you need to do. Because obviously a lot of the votes that go in from fans, some of them are not paying attention to football and not voting for the right guys. And, And some people don't even pay attention, and they're just like, oh, well, I like him. He's a big name. Jamal Adams, I like him. I like this guy. I like that guy. So that's why they get voted in.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a disgrace. Nathaniel says, James Robinson is on my Super Bowl fantasy team. I picked him up in week 2. There you go. See, he even picked him up off the the list.
I know
the free agents wire and made something out of it. And this guy is, again, yards per carry is good. And if you think about it, Jacksonville, not a strong offensive line, really, and making it happen. We've seen teams have, a bad offensive line and not be able to do anything with a better running back, technically. What's Zeke Elliott doing right now even? You know what I'm saying?
Tony Pollard's the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got Tony Pollard in there after you paid Zeke all this money and stuff like that. He's producing better than what Zeke is doing. So, again, look at a player like that, James Robinson, being able to get it done in a team that's one of the bottom. And that's what maybe is in is going to get Trevor Lawrence possibly.
And that's with an injured offensive line. They don't even have their starters, all of them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move to my next player on the list, and I have Xavier Howard on my list. Here, he's been playing again, lights out again, back-to-back seasons again. A long-time Miami Dolphin, and what I've noticed here more about him, not only does he have the 9 interceptions, but the pass defense on top of it. And if you look at a little thing, I look deep into the stats. 48.9% is the number, Joe. That is whoever he's covering. That's the percentage of them being able to catch the ball.
Yeah, no.
48%.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. No. Most receivers you don't catch. Percentage could be around 68. No, you're 48.9% against this guy.
And
he is locked down. He's getting it done.
Yeah, that goes to show you why the Dolphins locked him up relatively early. Mm-hmm. They just paid him the money and keep him there because he's the best corner right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So keeping it into the AFC East, I'm going to go right off the bat here with Josh Allen too as well. Josh Allen is playing great. He's kind of hushing up the naysayers here and there. It reminded me too, because we were going to do a show last week, but because of all the nonsense and the weather that we had, I was ready to go off a little bit last week. I was amped up. I was amped up about Lamar Jackson coming back in that game and winning, but also Dominique Foxworth out there. I can't stand this guy. All right, he's on the Bomani Jones show and stuff like that.
Oh, that right there is bad.
And, I don't want to, get too deep into it, but this guy is borderline racist in a sense, on the other side. And he is just saying the fact that, people that just support Josh Allen and to say that, he's a viable MVP caliber, you're just a bunch of, dog owners and flag wavers, and this like it's a negative thing. Like a white supremacist, I guess he's going at. And I just don't get it here because Josh Allen has hushed any kind of people that are saying he can't do it. He was tucking the ball down last year, running, hurdling, not showing it so much with his arm here. This year, he's making the throws that need to be done. He has a stud wide receiver here in Stephon Diggs now. You see Stephon Diggs' career elevate as well now that he's over there in Buffalo and out of Minnesota. And altogether, a 4,000-yard season, playing altogether great and being able to win those knockout, drag-out games against great teams.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen, he's been amazing, and this is the thing that we're talking about with young quarterbacks is seeing that improvement year to year to year. And he's worked very hard up to this point. He's done everything. Listen, he was heavily criticized of not being that accurate of a passer in college, and no, he wasn't. And he made some bad decisions and all that, but you're seeing him starting to polish his game, growing with this offense that when he first got in Buffalo, they had none. They had no receivers. They had no real offensive line. They didn't even have, running backs. I mean, they were really limited. And now they've just built around Josh Allen and also have helped him develop into a really good quarterback that he is now.
Yeah, absolutely. And here Nathaniel McWirt says, I drafted Josh and then traded Zeke and got laughed at for doing both. At the eighth position here.
Let them laugh, Nathaniel. Let them laugh.
Yeah. Who's laughing now? I mean, you're there in the championship with them, and you're that guy that was the one that jumped on it and was correct. And made something out of it. You know, I mean, that's the thing, finding those guys and looking into it. So
Really nice.
he's really nice. Yeah, so he's on my nice list. All right, next we have a guy that's probably no surprise, but he wasn't on my list last year. He is this year. But it is Aaron Rodgers, who
Rightfully so.
is probably going to be the MVP again. Because, again, not only is he, the Green Bay Packers winning the division and playing well together again, but he's doing even more than what he has been doing. He already has the high career for QB rating and the interceptions type of thing. This year, if you see if interceptions like Russell Wilson and some of these other guys that don't throw interceptions, the basic rate for a quarterback is about 3.2% around there for interception rate. He is 0.8% on his. He doesn't throw interceptions. He is right there. You know, Tom Brady isn't there, nowhere near there. Right now, his quarterback rating this season is 118. He has 40 touchdowns right now with 2 more games to go. So this guy playing lights out, like again, like as when they go and draft a quarterback, why'd you do so? Look what I can do still. Bam.
Right.
He's getting, the Rodgers rate right now for State Farm. So Nathaniel McCourt.
Well done.
Yeah, there you go. He said, I've been waiting for 25 years for a quarterback like Josh for the Bills. It's about fucking
And
time.
now
there
he's
you go.
here.
Yeah,
There
there
you
you
go.
go. Absolutely. So, you know what I mean?
There you go.
And yeah, I know. I mean, years after guys that, just have been just mediocre or whatever, nobody sends Jim Kelly there for the Bills.
Right.
They're taken back to the promised land to where they need to be. And have a defense like you guys have over there, though, too. You know what I mean? It was great. As we remember when we went to the draft at Katie O'Byrne's 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And when we met a Buffalo Bills fan.
We did.
Yeah, and when we were
did.
able to see when they had drafted – how they did. And then
Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver, and they landed Ed Oliver. He had no idea
slipped.
what they were getting.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, I don't even know. I'm like, really, bro?
Bro.
And that he slipped that far and you guys got him. It was just mind-blowing. Tre'Davious White playing great. I mean, altogether your defense is lights out.
Here's the thing is not all the time, and maybe people kind of overlook this, but not all the time does a team go out and hire like a coordinator as a head coach. And he turns out to be not just a good coordinator, but also a really good head coach. Sean McDermott has got this team playing very, very well. Solid, doesn't make mistakes, and will physically beat you up and down the field. Defensively, offensively, they are a tough team to face. And now that they got all the weapons that they need on offense, they got Josh Allen at Q. They got their defense that's always been solid for a long time, and they just keep building on that year to year. This team could be good for a long, long time. They could be the next team that runs the table in this division.
Absolutely. All right, here you go. This might be a surprise for some of you guys on my list, but I'm going to throw it out there just because you see a difference when you change a team.
You just made the list.
Yeah, you just made the list. Robbie Anderson made my list on the nice list. Because, again, a guy to where he was with the Jets, they were just saying, we need more wide receivers. We need a guy somewhere. It can't just be Robbie Anderson. He's just your deep speed guy. He can't do it. He goes to the Carolina Panthers. No, they're not exactly winning games right now. But he's a 1,000-yard receiver this year. What a difference. He has a quarterback, can get him the ball, and he's making something with it. And maybe he could show some of these people that maybe, he could have been one of those guys if he was in the right place.
Actually, he could have been one of those guys if Adam Gase utilized him as a complete wide receiver and not just a deep threat. I mean, that's really the difference. He goes to Carolina, and not a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, we got Robbie Anderson. That's cool. I mean, we got another weapon. And listen, he is a legitimate wide receiver. I've been saying it from the start, even when he was with the Jets. I'm like, you just got to open up the playbook. Let him run all the routes. Let him be that difference maker for you. Not just keep running him up and down the field like Brandon Cooks. You got to let the guy be a complete wide receiver. And that's what Carolina did. That's really what the difference is. Yes, they have a quarterback down there in Teddy Bridgewater who has definitely, reinvigorated his career. And Robbie Anderson as well now because he's not being tabbed and just used as just a guy here. Just run straight up the field, and if you're open, we'll hit you. If not, then we're not throwing to you. So now he's more of a complete receiver, and we're just seeing everything happen before our eyes.
All right, Nathaniel says he's my backup wideout. So there you go. So, you know what I really did? I really just looked at Nathaniel's fantasy team, and I made this list. That's what I did. I cheated. I just like, this guy is already in 2 Super Bowls, so I'm just going to put his players on here. That's what I can do. So, all right. So, yeah. And Linda McPhee. Oh, my mom is here with us, everybody, tonight. My mom
Merry
here.
Christmas
That's right.
Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. Yeah. So, we appreciate it. Thank you, Mom, for joining us here. The kids opened their gifts already. And what's funny is the sleeping bag thing, the thing that you got my son, my 4-year-old, he saw it and went ballistic because he just saw the commercial for it today and says, I want that.
Okay.
And then Nana got it for him right away.
Nice,
so he was able to look at it, say, I wanted it, and boom, it's delivered just like that. So amazing. We thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to you as well. And everybody out there, too, and all your loved ones, too. And everybody, stay safe from I know COVID's out there and stuff like that, but everybody take care of each other out there. Merry Christmas to you and happy holidays. All right, replying to Nathaniel McWhirter. Is he replying to himself? Is what is it? Because I hate how Facebook user is going here. But it says under Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins. So so I think that's what he had. Oh, that's what his third string under Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins. Wow, look at that lineup. You wonder why he won that. Joe.
I want to know,
amazing.
I want to be in your I want to be in your draft because how the hell did all these guys were available?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like it was like when Steven Likens with his championship teams. Remember, he was in a 12 or 14 team league, and then he gave us a list of the players that he had. And it was crazy, and you're kind of just like, dude, who else is in your league? Because they're dumb. How do you get these guys?
I know.
It was
he had
just
an
insane.
all-star team.
Yep. Yeah, it was just crazy. It's so I was
Nothing is impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so think
if
about
you get your friends drunk.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's got to get everybody drunk at the party. Here we go. So next on my nice list, I got a long list, but
you got
we're
another
almost
one?
done. It's wrapped up. I got Dalvin Cook on the list.
Okay.
Again, he's one of my guys. That. Has been playing well too. He's one of the top running backs out there too, even for the Vikings. When they're shining light kind of deals for that team. I know Kirk Cousins not looking so hot right now for them, and now we hear word too that he might not even be there next year. They're looking to push him and move him out of the way.
I mean, would you pay the guy another $30 million to play?
He was almost on my naughty list. Naughty list.
He should be on the naughty list. You know what? Bill O'Brien should be on the naughty list. Doug Marrone should be on the naughty list. The Houston Texans organization should be on the naughty list. I mean, it's pretty bad. There's a lot of guys. That's what I'm just saying.
Quickly.
All right.
Just saying.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Adam Gase.
Oh, no wonder why. A 6-team league.
Oh, a 6-team league.
Holy crap, though.
Wow.
Well, everybody's got to be.
How do you sleep at night?
Dude, that has to be loaded. With your teams are loaded.
Yeah, it's like every team is an all-star team.
Yeah. I mean, and even the pool of players and the free agent list and everything. Too,
I can't do a league like that.
That is amazing.
I like the challenge.
Holy
12 teams at least.
Yeah. Wow. All right, here we go. Who else? This is going to be a surprise, I think, to some people. But I looked deep in here on this one, and I got to give credit where credit's due here.
What do you got?
This guy doesn't get credit. I got JPP on here.
There we go.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
There we go.
Again, everybody's talking about, what's going on? It's almost like another freaking episode of Maury Povich. Yeah. It's like, what's going on with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady? Are they getting along yet? Let's see what this offense can do. And Tom Brady wants to do this one thing, but Bruce Arians wants to throw deep. How are they doing? This defense isn't playing very well. JPP, all right, 9.5
defense
sacks.
Is amazing.
Okay, 9.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. All right, not
four
even getting snuffed
fumbles.
or talked about right now. Yeah, forced fumbles. A guy where the Giants walked away from him after a couple seasons, 7 sacks, not as much production. He lost his fingers, and being stupid, and look what he's done. He's done nothing but made a career there in Tampa and come back. Mm-hmm. He could be even a comeback player in a sense.
Could be.
Dude, the dude's playing great right now. Nobody's looking at him. I see you, JPP, even though you used to play for my team and stuff like that. I see you out there. You're playing good. 9.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and like Joe said, 4 forced fumbles. JPP out there makes my nice list.
Yeah, he's well deserving of that.
Yeah, he's all right. No, Nathaniel says a 6-team and a 10-team. So he's on a 10-team and a 6-team. 10 is where I like to go. 12 is okay. I've never done 8 before, and it starts to go 14, 16. Then it's just crazy and stuff like that. So then it's just out of hand. So, but congratulations to Nathaniel to even make it work though, because if you think about it in that sense, say you got the 6 teams. Everybody's loaded, pretty much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Everybody's got to have
well,
all-stars.
they should be.
You
They
should be. But again, it's some of those picks that were bust this year.
Right.
You know, like he said, he traded away Zeke, and
Look
people
at-
laughed at him, but
Hey.
he's been a bust this year.
Look at Christian McCaffrey, who was literally like the number 1 overall pick for almost every league. You know, so and he's been injured heavily this season, so he hasn't even been able to help down the stretch, even halfway through the season. So I mean, there's a guy that's a bust. You know, a lot of guys say, "Hey, I got Christian McCaffrey, first pick overall. I'm gonna win it." Nope.
Absolutely. So there you go. You never know. All right, so I got JPP there, and that is it for my list, actually. That's it. That's my last one for my list. There is my naughty and nice list. There we go. We've been doing it here for Christmas for the last couple. It's going to be 4 years now, Joe. 4 years we've been doing this show. It's pretty crazy. And we've done with this crap here for that 2020 has given us. This was going to be our year. We had all kinds of interviews lined up.
Yeah.
We're going to go live on location, and half the places are getting shut down in here in New York. But we appreciate everybody out there with us. We got some more subs on YouTube as well. So if you haven't subscribed, hit us up on YouTube, Football on the No Show. Hit the subscribe button. Trying to build our YouTube up too as well. It's not as many as we are on Facebook. But we love our loyal, true Facebook fans and our group members out there that have been with us since day one. Really appreciate it. Much love to you guys throughout our career here and throughout the holiday season and being with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Everything you guys do for us out there. All right, so that's going to bring up one of our favorite times of the show now too, Joe.
Oh, is it?
It's nothing but our In the Know fact of the day. That's right. Here we go. In 1973. Buffalo Bills. Talk about the Bills here, Nathaniel. Running back O.J. Simpson became the first player to rush for 2,000 yards in a single season. Simpson ran for 2,003 yards in 14 games. And that's our
pretty
In the
amazing
Know fact of the day. That's right. So yeah, imagine that. Imagine somebody doing that now. I mean, that's amazing back then. But imagine, doing that in 14 games right now, getting 2,003 yards right there. So
that's pretty tough.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
That might be a rude joke about O.J. Simpson, but maybe that was wrong. I might want to take that one back. All right. I could drop. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. There we go.
That's on there forever.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Or
Holy Santa Claus shit.
yeah. I could drop McCaffrey because he is my first pick. No one wanted to trade for him. That's what he says right here. Nathaniel McWirt. Yeah. Look at that.
I was trying to trade for McCaffrey.
He couldn't drop him.
Yeah, you can't drop him if he's like your. I believe it's like the way it's set up.
Yeah,
it depends. If you're on ESPN, like ESPN has this crazy thing. Like if it's a first round draft pick, you can't trade them or drop them. They're just stuck on your team no matter what. So the only option is to trade him, and it's kind of funny to me that nobody wanted to trade for him because I was trying to trade for McCaffrey halfway through the year. I was like, hey, if I can get him and he comes back from injury and then he just kind of blows up and he could probably carry my team with the good players I already have on my roster. I was super deep at receiver. So I was like, I'll trade Julio Jones for him. You know what I mean? I'll get McCaffrey. It just didn't end up working out because the guy wanted too much for him. But yeah, I mean, I had interest. I mean, I find it hard to believe nobody wanted to trade for him. But hey, you never know with some of these leagues. A lot of people they grow attached to the guys that they draft, because it's like you specifically pick that guy, so that's your guy. You know what I mean? You don't want to give him up. Well, sometimes you got to make sacrifices.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't happen for you guys out there. So I mean, you never know. All right, so there you go. That's all that stuff there for the holidays. A nice naughty list. The fact of the day, and now we're bringing on our picks competition, Joe. Let's get right to the picks. Here we go.
Picks.
I still forget to bring out the drink mug down here somewhere. I don't even know where that is. That's over probably there somewhere over in the corner. All right, but there you go. Here we are with the head-to-head. Joe, I've taken another game on him this past week, but it's close still.
Yes!
It's anybody's game here still.
I'm a little closer to just be drinking on the show.
It could be. But I still drink on the show, though, that day. But you drink a lot more than I do. It just happens that way. So, I mean, it ends up being fun. Everybody loves it when Joe gets drunk on the show.
Right.
It's just starts pouring it and going. It's a lot of fun. Plus, everything all would be messed up here. So.
It's not beer, though.
Yeah, it's not beer. It's going to be
beer.
some heavy liquor. All right, here we go. So let's throw this one out of here.
Throw it out of here.
I don't need that anymore. I already used that. All right, here we go. Week 16. Let's kick it right into gear, Joe.
All right, let's go.
The Minnesota Vikings at New Orleans Saints on Christmas Day.
Friday night.
Boom. Friday night.
Oh, not really night, but afternoon, I guess. 4:30 p.m. game. You got Minnesota Vikings, the very disappointing Vikings, against the New Orleans Saints with a returning Drew Brees as of last week. Drew Brees
looked too good last week.
Drew Brees did have some nice throws, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He had some nice throws, and I think it's going to be one of those things that because it's his first week back last week, he's going to need a couple more weeks to kind of get acclimated back into the saddle here. But nonetheless, I mean, New Orleans Saints, their defense is pretty good. Saints offense with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees and all these other weapons that they got. No Michael Thomas, by the way.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
I think that was a problem before.
One of my fantasy teams did draft Michael Thomas, and sorely, big time a bust for me.
You've been a naughty boy.
Yes.
And I'm going to spank you.
I don't want to spank him. I want to shoot him. But either way. But, okay, we got the Vikings and we got the Saints. This is a weird thing because, like, Vikings, when you want to write them off, it seems like they wake up and they play good football, and all of a sudden they end up with a win. And then you got the Saints who still need to keep winning.
Yeah.
So, and I like the coaching staff better with New Orleans. I like the players, and they're at home. They're more comfortable. I'm going to go with the Saints.
All right, there you go. Here's my pen. All right, Vikings again haven't been playing up to snuff here. They're not the team I was hoping they might be this season. I was wrong when I picked them to play well. And Saints still marching on and playing well. I think last week was a little bit of speed bump. Drew Brees not completely healthy. I mean, it was amazing when I heard he might come back after 4 weeks anyways.
It's crazy,
what
right?
he's dealing with. So he's still doing it. You can see that, when he was getting some of those hits, he was kind of ready just to roll over. Yeah. I think he was kind of nursing it all, a little unsettled. So I think he'll one more week now get it settled. Usually, though, when they don't have Michael Thomas in, it's a different story, and they do have issues getting it spread around. I hope to see Alvin Kamara have a better week this week here and be a big focal point for them. I'm going to go with the Saints here as well at home. Nathaniel, I'm just looking at it. Sorry.
Right.
Pause. I stop and I read, and I'm quiet.
Don't be quiet. Keep it going.
Right, 2 games wrong last week. You guys can probably guess which one.
You got the Rams game wrong.
The Rams game. Yeah, the Jets, No,
the Jets fans aren't saying that. They're definitely not saying that.
It wasn't.
They're like, why did you guys win?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I know. It's just like, why are you doing it? It's like,
you want to know
play
why?
Tough,
I know why. Gase knows that it's crunch time. Gase knows that he's going to be let go at the end of the year. So he's like, you know what?
Shit.
I'm going to screw the Jets organization by winning.
Yeah, you're right. Here we go.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Yeah, right, baby. Oh, man. But, yeah, how do you lose that game? Yep. What was the other game, too, that you had wrong? I mean, there was a couple close ones. I only got 3 or 4. The Pittsburgh game, I mean, I thought the Rams and Steelers, I was going to say the Pittsburgh game right there. I said it right there. The Steelers, I know. Joe and I both had the Steelers, and I was funny because I heard
was it the Bengal game?
The Bengal game. Yeah, he just said it right here, the Bengal game. again, I thought it was going to be close just like it kind of was, but it was actually more even lopsided towards the Bengals side in that game, which a lot of people were even saying the Steelers are going to bounce back and blow them out, which I didn't see at all because everybody knows with these, and Nathaniel probably knows this too, again, with his division, all those divisional games are close. No matter what personnel is on it, whatever, they could be a really garbage team. They play each other tough. They know each other. They just where it goes. And the Steelers and the Ravens, I mean, they showed during the broadcast the knockout, drag-out games that they had. The Vontaze Burfict hit on Antonio Brown. I mean, they've been going at each other. And that game was chippy. Holy moly. You know what I mean? And then they'll go down with Juju dancing on people's logos and everything. Juju, what are you doing?
Gonna do that.
Yeah.
He said.
I can see him losing that one there too as well. Absolutely, I agree with you there.
Juju said for the betterment of himself and the organization and his teammates, he's like, I am quitting dancing on logos.
There you go. All right, so now here you go. Saturday, Tampa Bay. Well, Juju also said he goes, well, when you're a TikTok star and things like that, it comes with the game. What you got to do.
No, it doesn't.
I know, and that's why when you hear him talk like that, that doesn't sound very good.
Stop being a child.
So you want football money, or do you want just your TikTok money and your YouTube money?
Stop being a child.
Come on. All right, here we go. Tampa Bay and Detroit here. Detroit's at home, but I don't think it really matters. Again, they're clearing house here, a fire sale. Maybe they'll fix the ship and get a new GM in there, maybe our man here. But
they're going to need a new head coach. We already know that.
They need a new head coach too as well, yeah. And maybe Jim Caldwell's interviewing right now. Maybe they'll call Jim Caldwell back, because that was the last winning season.
Oh, my God, that'll be the worst decision ever made.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers, though, here. Tom Brady and those guys, they're making a push here. They got a perfect team they got to play in Detroit. I like the Bucs here.
Yeah, we saw some more chemistry between Antonio Brown and Tom Brady last week. And with all these weapons that Tom Brady has at his disposal, along with Rojo in the backfield, I mean, it's going to be tough to stop this offense going forward. It seems like that now they're starting to figure things out. And along with this really good defense that Tampa has assembled, they're going to be tough to beat. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa as well.
It's a story of a man named Brady.
All right, here Joe, I think we have a newcomer in the house.
Ooh, what's going on?
In the house. No Donnie 8 is in the house.
All right. What's up, No Donnie?
YouTube. Check it out. Arizona Cardinals sounding off. Yeah, there we go.
No Donnie.
Motherfucker.
Now that you're here, No Donnie, you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for our latest and greatest updated content. Then you'll be a know-it-all.
Yeah, let's talk Cardinals here.
Let's talk Cardinals. Guess what?
Now. That's the next pick we got.
It's the next game, buddy, so you just arrived right on time.
Absolutely. Cardinals, again, we were one of those teams or guys that said, this team is up and coming. They're going to play hard this season. Unfortunately, the way the 49ers, they have suffered with their injuries and things like that. I had them winning division, but Arizona was right underneath them. I had them going second here. He's like, you got it, fellas. Subscribe.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much,
appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. And so, yeah, the Cardinals, we saw them as an up-and-coming with the trade that they got, getting rid of David Johnson and getting, DeAndre Hopkins in there. Another weapon on top of it, plus the weapons they already had. I mean, we saw it. But then you're seeing what some of the injuries on defense is starting to have with this guys and this team, and some of the guys trying to keep Kyler Murray locked into the middle, so then he's got to throw over those linemen and get a lot more batted balls. But I really like Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, the craziest thing about this team is they're not that bad on defense, even with the injuries. Now, yes, they're missing Chandler Jones, which is a huge loss, but it seems like in the past couple of weeks, I've noticed an uptick on that defensive side of the ball. They're starting to get more pressure. Riddick there, the linebacker, he's starting to create a lot of havoc against quarterbacks, creating a lot of pressure. And this team is starting to feel itself a little bit. The Arizona Cardinals offense has been lights out. I mean, Kyler Murray is so hard to defend. I mean, he can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arm. And, yes, at times he does get the ball batted down more than I think, any other quarterback right now. But nonetheless, he's a difference maker. He's very dynamic, and this offense is hard to stop. I like what Arizona's got going on right here. They're one of those teams that we were hoping would make the playoffs because I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them win that chase to mix it up with some of these teams in the playoffs. I have the Cardinals winning against the Niners. The Niners are just kind of like a mess right now. I mean, to be honest. Their offense just doesn't seem like it is the same. Ryan Mostert is done for the year. He's not going to be there. They're going to rely on the likes of Jeff Wilson and company. And they do get George Kittle back for this week, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Cardinals. I got Arizona in Arizona.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Yeah, I agree with you there, too. And Hassan Riddick, I was looking at next-gen stats. He, this year, has the quickest time to the quarterback, 2 seconds flat. 2 seconds flat.
Crazy, right?
From the snap to the quarterback for a sack. He's up there, one of the sack leaders as well, and tackles. So, like you said, playing it lights out as well. Nathaniel McWirt spit down his picks right now with us. He's been going with us toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks, I've got him by a couple.
I also like Isaiah Simmons. You know, I think he's a really good rookie that they need to keep developing, keep playing, and see what they can do with them. I would move him around all the time. So we'll wait and see what happens with that situation. But I really like what Arizona's doing. I'm really excited for them next year too, because I want to see them with that healthy offense or healthy defense, and to really see if they can take that big next step.
All right, here we go. Nathaniel McWirt, he's got the Saints, the Bucks, the Cards, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Chiefs, Browns, Bears, Bengals, Colts, Washington, Broncos, Eagles, Rams, Titans, and then the Bills. All right, here we go. Donnie says, Niners are done. Hell yeah, man. If I wasn't a Cardinals fan, I'd be a Raiders fan. So I hope you guys went out. All right. So went out. So maybe, that's cool. Look at that. You know, Raider love too as well.
I appreciate that, bro.
How about that? You know, so yeah. All right. So here we go. So well, he probably hopes that the Raiders suck then too, because especially if he appreciates the Battle of the Bay there with the Raiders too. He's probably like, yo, Niners out. You know, so all right, here we go. So let's move on to Miami and Vegas. You're talking about the Raiders right here. Raiders at home. I tell you, man, I really love it there at that stadium. It's amazing. And Miami's playing really tough here, though, against the Raiders.
Can't wait to go in there.
The Raiders have been lackluster. Like you said, the decisions that they have made is kind of referring back to what they used to do. But now they've got Marcus Mariota here. We get to see, first time ever, I think, here now, 2 teams with quarterbacks that both are from Hawaii playing each other.
Oh, we have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, we'll see. That's true.
Yeah, Carr could come back for this game. I know there's been rumors about him doing light practice and trying to get back in the swing of things, and it's possible that he comes back. But if he doesn't, then you're going to see that matchup.
Well, what do you got here? How confident are you the Raiders can win here at home against this Miami team?
Well, listen. One thing that I'll say is, like, the defense is not going to change overnight. You know, I know a lot of Raider fans thought that last week. They were like, oh, we got Rod Marinelli calling the defense, so all of a sudden it's going to miraculously change and we're going to be good on D. No, because it's the scheme he's calling. He's calling the same type of defense. So it didn't matter who's got the playbook. Yeah, he could call different plays, but he just didn't get it done. And he's another guy that doesn't like to blitz. So yeah, how are you really going to create pressure that way? Because your front four is not doing it. Anyway, I am not on board with the Vegas defense still. I still think they're going to be terrible. Miami's going to put up points. And quite honestly, the Raiders are just going to have to outscore Miami and hope that maybe the defense can stop them at least once. You know what I mean? So this game, unlike last week, it sounds like the Raiders defense is going to get a lot of help back. Sounds like they're going to get Jonathan Abram back, Clelin Ferrell back, a lot of big-time players back. So because of that does give them a little bit better of a shot to win, but this is going to be a good game. I mean, a really good game. For the hell of it, I'm going to stick with my Raiders. They're home. Miami's got to come to us, and then I think if Carr or Mariota play, whichever one does, I still think the Vegas Raiders offense is going to be tough to stop. And, I'm going to go with the Raiders on that.
All right, there we go. And Nodani 8 says, good job. Keep up the great work. Build that fan base. Later, fellas, back to work.
Appreciate you, bro.
No problem. Yeah, appreciate
Donnie,
it. Thank you.
And also, if you know anybody that is into football as much as we are, make sure you swing them our way. Become a member, and thank you very much for joining, bro.
All right, thank you. Yeah, definitely. All right, so, I think I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins here on this one. They just are playing better right now. Vegas, again, squandering what they had. They started off pretty good, running really well with Jacobs, too. I mean, getting it done. But again, just as of late, just dealing with the
But
struggles.
it's not the offense. That's the crazy thing. Is the offense is still nobody can stop the Raiders' offense. I'm sorry, they just can't. The Raiders average 30 points a week. That's crazy. Your offense scores 30 points a week. Guess what? Your defense has got to pick up the other half and win you some football games.
All right, here we go. The Carolina Panthers and the Washington football team. Again, now we've seen that Dwayne Haskins. Did he get demoted? Like he's totally out even right now, isn't he?
No, he just got the captain patch taken
away. That's what it was. Yeah. So I mean,
why should you have that now?
He definitely shouldn't. He shouldn't have had it in the first place. But like you said, it's a different team when Alex Smith isn't there. Even though we got in a little heated debate about how he's playing and whatever, they definitely do win when he's in there, and it is a difference. So if Alex Smith is in there, I'm going with the Washington football team. But if he's not, and they're dealing with Dwayne Haskins again, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers on this one.
And that's pretty much the same thing that I'm going to say. I mean, Washington's defense though is so daunting that alone could be the deciding factor for this game. So I'm going to go Washington, and Alex Smith is likely to play this week. We'll have to wait and see and watch that injury report by Friday and see if he's going to play or not. But I really do believe this defense is pretty good. And Dwayne Haskins, I mean, he can make some plays once in a while. And, yes, he's still working on developing with this new offense. We'll have to wait and see. Carolina, they're another team that not a lot of people are talking about because they're not, leading the division or anything like that. But for a brand-new team assembled with a new coaching staff, they look like they got something brewing there in Carolina. I mean, watch out for them next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what they got going, even with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore on the other side is playing well too as well. So both wide receivers lighting it up here. All right, what we got here on the comments, Joe?
We got a Facebook user because Facebook doesn't want to allow us to see what the name is.
Yeah, for some reason.
I am a Colorado sports fan with also
Nathaniel again, so it's going to be Nathaniel.
Is it always Nathaniel?
It's Nathaniel every time. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so far, yeah, everything's.
I'm so confused now.
For some reason, I don't know if because I opened it already after he was
Who
commenting.
Also roots for the local team. In the NFL's case, it is the Cowboys. Don't worry, I am not
really
one of those people. A disclaimer.
Well,
you should just put stars on it. Disclaimer.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people who thinks the Cowboys will win every Super Bowl every year. That's good, Nathaniel. At least you got a good head on your shoulders. We can tell then.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, yeah, absolutely, because it's not.
It's the same way, like, for us. Like, we're completely unbiased with our own teams. Like, listen, we'll call our teams out and bitch and moan about it every week if you let us. So.
Really nice.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, again, I'm a Giants fan. We haven't been having a great schedule or a great season this season or last season or season before that.
But you see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm not like all of a sudden like some people, like even in the local media up here, was saying that we should draft or get Eli Manning out of retirement and make a playoff push, which I thought was ludicrous. And things like that. So I'm not on the playoff train right now. So we'll see how it goes. And we're unbiased. That's why we talk about every team out there. We love a lot of teams out there, and we love
football,
to talk
baby.
about all of it. So that's what it's all about. All right, here we go. Back to the picks. Indianapolis Colts, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers have been reeling. Can they right the ship here? I don't think so. I think in Indianapolis, again, they're running on all phases right now. I like their defense. They've been a great play last week, to seal the deal against the Texans team that, again, was pushing hard to get that win. They almost did it to them. That happened twice, I think, this season. The Texans were ready to win again, and a play happens, and they get it done. So, and Phillip Rivers has been playing good, and I like the way the running game's going here. I like the Colts here.
I mean, and they got a great offensive line for the Colts.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what Phillip really needs. And yeah, you're right. This Colts team is starting to really fire on all cylinders late in the season, and that's what you want in a team that's fighting for the playoffs and going into the playoffs, having that momentum. But in Pittsburgh's a team that kind of they're kind of slipping up a little bit, and they need to wake up very quickly. I think this is a game where they're going to kind of come back down to earth and get everything back in check and really kind of work on play against the Colts and I think they're going to come out with a win on this one.
Yeah, imagine go on this 4-game losing skid now, too. I mean, that would be pretty amazing. And that opens the door to what I think Nathaniel was talking about and a couple other guys here, and John Turner out there as well. Shout out to him. Where the Browns, and they leapfrog and come up in here and take the division right now. All right, so that would be great for them. Now we've got the Atlanta Falcons here and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, again, everybody's talking about how dominant they are and things like that. They are vulnerable. They're just kind of playing the way that the Patriots have for many years now, to where a lot of times it gets in that murky water to where teams are almost defeating themselves. They make enough mistakes that the Chiefs are able to get back in the game and win the game. So they're able to win these games and close ones and make something out of it. Because we've seen so many times during this season to where they looked like absolute ass, and Patrick Mahomes is making interceptions, bad throws, bad reads, and they can get back in the game, and it's due usually to the other team making enough mistakes to let this offense. The offense is good. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot of good players. A lot of good players even on defense too as well. But they're not invincible. They are beatable. And this team isn't the be-all, end-all. Yes, they have a great record, but they are beatable. Unfortunately, against the Atlanta Falcons this week, they are not going to get beat. I like the Chiefs. That being said.
Yeah, that being said. That's
just
totally...
to let you guys know, moving forward when we get into the playoff,
Kudos to John Turner, because that's his thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was just... I'm sorry. I had to get
Kansas
into that.
City Chiefs, I mean... What can you say? They're a team that's beating everybody except for the Raiders one time.
Yeah, that's true, right?
See, the only loss the Chiefs have, I'm just saying, I mean, that's a little feather in the Raiders' cap, is that they did get a win against Kansas City this year. But they're playing Atlanta Falcons. Wow. Atlanta Falcons have been kind of like a disappointment in the NFC. They really haven't. I know we kind of thought in the same light that Atlanta's offense was going to be prolific, if you will, in the NFC. I thought they were going to be able to score a lot of points just about every single week. And their defense that was coming back healthy for once, we thought they were going to play a little bit better and they were going to get some more wins that way. And it's been
Didn't
quite
I call
the opposite.
decline of Julio Jones, though? I mean, some of it's due to injuries. I understand that, but still.
I mean, I don't see a decline. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's in, he's lighting up the game. So, I mean, I don't see the decline yet. Not yet.
It will.
But Atlanta against Kansas City, I mean, I think Atlanta maybe be able to kind of stay, offense versus offense, maybe. But you do have the offset chance that Dirk Cutter's going to screw the game plan up again. And Kansas City's going to win the game.
There you go. We could have probably said it all in less words, but it was entertaining. Here we go. The Chicago Bears. That's one of the games that got me last week. I wasn't sure what I'm going to get. Now we get back-to-back weeks where they're playing well and Mitch Trubisky getting plays, but done. But maybe it comes down to it almost the way I watched Daniel Jones play with the Giants and stuff like that. He does better when he gets out of the pocket, makes plays with his legs, and can get them first downs that way, and has better vision getting out of there. I think you can't try and force him to be something he's not. He's got to roll what he's got, and that way he feels comfortable. Because they've been able to pull off some wins here, too. On the other hand, Jacksonville, I'm confused in what they're trying to do here. Again, what's the message here Doug Marrone's trying to send? I mean, maybe right now he is trying to win. Right now they do have the number one pick, in the draft. But, Gardner Minshew just playing pretty good, not lights out here or there, but enough to be a starter in this league. And James Robinson, too, again, a nice highlight for this team as well. But we've already mentioned so many times this season the players that have come and gone and left this organization to where it's just in shambles. And I think management they've done pretty well, to stay in and hang tight with some of these teams. This could be a surprise team, so you could see Jacksonville play these guys hard and make this a close game, but I'm going to go with Chicago.
Yeah, although the Chicago Bears defense hasn't been as good as it was with Vic Fangio there, the Bears offense is starting to get a little spark here. And I think going up against Jacksonville, I mean, heck, Chicago surprised me last week, and I think they're going to do it again, and they're just going to handle business against Jacksonville.
All right, there we go. Now we've got the Cincinnati Bengals against the Houston Texans here. Texans, again, have been playing pretty good here. I mean, again, not so much on defense, but Deshaun Watson playing really well. I'm going to take the Houston Texans here at home. Cincinnati, yes, it was nice for them to really battle hard against the Steelers, but again, those divisional games are really tight. But you also saw why Ryan Finley also hasn't been the starter, too, as well, behind all that. Giovanni Bernard always doing what he does, though, too. There, it was nice to see him there. But I'm going to go with the Texans here.
Yeah, Cincinnati, I mean, hey, whenever you play your rival, division rival like that, you know it's going to be close. You know you have a shot. But when the Steelers started to get too many turnovers early in the game, it seemed like it just became really lopsided.
It made it too easy for them to give them good field position.
And it made it hard for the Steelers to come back, especially when you're one-dimensional. I mean, when you get that far behind that early, you got to throw the ball a lot more often, and that's not what the Pittsburgh Steelers like to do. Cincinnati against Houston. Deshaun Watson, like you said, he's playing lights out this year, going untalked about. But because he doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins there to talk about, all that kind of stuff, and they don't have the great running back, and they don't have this, they don't have that. I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one.
Oh, wow. There he goes, going with Nathaniel.
I like what I saw last week. I know it was a division rival and everything, but maybe they got something cooking in Cincinnati, and they're going to carry the momentum. You can make up this whole, you're only down by like 5 games. You can make this all up in this week right here alone. That'd be really interesting. That's what I'm hoping.
All right, here we go. The Giants and the Baltimore Ravens. Giants, I think, again, they're just too depleted right now. I wish on defense they would put Logan Ryan out of safety, put him at corner. That way it helps with their depth because they have been dealing with injuries there at Darnell Holmes, and things like that. They got McKinney in there now, so get him some more spot.
Well, James Bradbury missed last week.
Yeah, Bradbury missed last week too. Yeah, it was big. But then also they've been bringing Jabril Peppers in. And now they got McKinney. So McKinney and Logan Ryan back there, and they put Peppers in as a corner, like a slot corner, which I don't really like. I never like to bring that safety up in the box. And he's not good for coverage. So basically they send him up there to blitz him, which I don't like as well.
So the funny thing is the Raiders do that with LaMarcus Joyner, and I don't like that either.
Yeah.
I think he should just play safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with there, too. So I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens.
I feel your pain, bro.
Yeah,
I feel your pain.
Yeah, I like it.
Giants against Baltimore. I'm just going to pick Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the Ravens have just a better roster right now, and although the Giants, are looking better than what they have been with Joe Judge and this new coaching staff, they still need some more time to further develop this roster.
All right, there we go. All right, now we got the Cleveland Browns here facing the New York Jets. Now, if it wasn't for them getting that win this week. This would be, again, everybody's going to be like, oh, Cleveland Browns, there you go. But, it's intriguing now, maybe. The Jets are at home playing against the Cleveland Browns, who sometimes, for me, I kind of described it to somebody when I talked to them about the Browns. They play to their competition.
Yeah.
Do you see them play, lights out, put up 30, 40 points or whatever against the Ravens, because that's what they were doing. Against the Giants, times are tougher. So they played enough to beat them and do what they had to do to win. They're not going to give you all those points every week. They're not, going to do all that stuff. Yes, the defense is still going to be playing pretty well. Again, you get Denzel Ward back too, which is a big part for them. But they play to who they're playing against. So I see this going to be a closer game than people are going to expect. But I think Cleveland can still pull it out here, and this is where they take the lead of the division.
Yeah, I'm going the Browns. The Browns got a lot of momentum going for them, and they're playing better without Odell. So, if anything,
I remember the Giants were like that sometimes.
If anything, Cleveland, you may want to think about trading away Odell because he's not the answer for you.
There you go. So now we got the Broncos and the Chargers, two of the teams that were on your naughty list, Joe.
Both naughty.
Yeah, naughty, which it seems like you're just hating on the other teams. Or you had 3 teams in your naughty list that were all in the AFC West.
No.
Didn't you?
Just those two.
Oh, no, just those two. Just the Chargers and everything. They were Broncos weren't there. Drew Lock was in
no,
my
you're right.
list,
You're right, because I had the Raiders.
Yeah, you had the Raiders. You had 2 of them there, right? Yeah.
3.
3.
That's 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. See, I just kind of noticed a trend there. But the Chargers, again, I like what Justin Herbert's been doing a lot better than what Drew Lock is doing. It seems like he has a better grasp of everything here and what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. Really hold of this team and a real identity. Even despite the injuries that they have had, they still perform and they play well. I think I like the Chargers here against the Broncos.
I don't know what to pick.
Just
but I will agree
pick
with
the
you
Broncos.
in the fact that Justin Herbert is playing much better, and the Chargers defense, despite injuries, despite not having Melvin Ingram, and all of that, their corners are legit. Chris Harris is having a good year with the Chargers, and Casey Hayward, who still goes untalked about. Like, I don't understand. The guy is phenomenal in coverage and shuts down most receivers, and he just doesn't get talked about. So for me, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. I like the Chargers roster completely better than Denver's, and I don't think Denver is going to have enough answers in this one.
It is pointless to resist, my son.
There you go. All right, now we've got the Philadelphia Eagles now under Jalen Hurts and the Dallas Cowboys. Here we go. In the Big D, this is going to be another rivalry game. Will Jalen Hurts do enough here to beat the Cowboys in that struggling defense? Dallas pulled together. They want to talk about a team that just put up like 40 points. They just did it against the 49ers, so they're playing better. I just said it here on tonight's show that I think after all that's said and done here, everybody's talking about the Washington football team and the New York Giants here. I think this is the opportunity the Dallas Cowboys step up and they sneak back into this conversation and can take the division again. And then it just shows you that this is a terrible division. And nobody will win the first game coming out of this.
Nobody wants
They will
to
host
win.
a better team. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys here.
I'll laugh hysterically if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible because I don't have the records in front of me. But wouldn't it be hilarious if all four teams had a tying record at the end of the year? That'd be hilarious.
Well, they all can't because unless they all tied.
It's
the
not
other
possible?
couple teams that they tied because Philadelphia has a tie. The other three don't.
No, I just want them all to have the same record at the end of the year. Is it possible
well,
or no?
If the other three teams do get a tie against some other team, yes.
Okay.
It still is. But they
Like
would have to do it the next two.
record-wise.
Yeah. Nathaniel corrects me. Yeah, it is just the Raiders and the Chargers were on there. Yeah, you were right. And then you had the Ravens.
It's fine.
And I
It's
forget,
fine. We're past
but
that
still,
now.
I'm just saying.
We're past that.
Joe never, gives up an opportunity to sneak in, some hate on some of those teams.
My own team.
Yeah, your own team, too. That's true.
It was
That
my
is
own
true.
team and the Chargers.
That is true.
So
it is true. I get it. I know.
I don't leave my team out if they deserve it.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Anyway.
All right, anyway.
We're going to Philadelphia in the Cowboy game. So we got the Cowboys and Eagles. I'm going to take the opposite team of Jim because I need to try to make up some games.
Why not? It's
and
a good
this
one.
is one of those games where, like, they got Jalen Hurts. He's a little bit unknown for Dallas. They only got a couple of games of film on him. So maybe, just maybe, Philly could pull out a win against Dallas.
Nathaniel goes with the Eagles. There you go. So it sounds good. Go with Nathaniel. He knows what he's talking about. So there you go. All right. We got the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Rams, they just lost. Got embarrassed to the Jets. Seattle, again, bouncing back a little bit. They've had some tough games here. The defense not playing well, except for, their linebackers. Besides that, they don't have anything. Yeah, but, then also Carlos Hyde. It's about time because I've been asking for where the frig has Carlos Hyde kind of been for these guys? And there you go. He steps up here, gets it done. Rams, can they bounce back here and win this in Seattle? It's tough. The Seattle Seahawks are beatable, but I don't think the Seattle defense can withstand this Rams offense. Even though they're going to be without Cam Akers, they got enough other playmakers there. I'm going to go with the Rams here instead of the Seahawks.
Okay. Seattle, I do like what's happening with their defense the last couple of weeks. It seems like ever since they pulled off that trade for Carlos Dunlap, it's really ignited this defensive line to get a lot of pressure on quarterbacks and thus turning into this aggressive style that they love to play. Listen, Seattle, what I've noticed is that they are acting like their team name, Seahawks. So they're ball hawks. They're going after the football. They're creating turnovers. They're getting pressure now. And listen, Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are all killing it in the offense. Like you mentioned, the running back situation there. I wonder, what's going on for the near future with this team in terms of running backs? Because Chris Carson, when he's healthy, is amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Is he going to command another contract now? And if that's the case, do they go back and they stick with Carlos Hyde for the near future, which we've seen him show flashes when he's given the opportunity that he can handle the starting gig. So anyway, sorry I got a little off topic here. But Seattle and the Rams, you're going with the Rams. I'm going opposite. I'm going to go with Seattle at home.
All right, here we go. This is going to be a pretty crazy week here.
This is
It's
a
going to
good
be a
one.
nuts week here.
I'm so glad this is a night game.
All right, here we go. Now we got the Tennessee Titans and Green Bay Packers. Oh, man, these are some tough ones. I know somebody was doing picks earlier today. They said there was some tough games. This is going to be tough. I'm going to not count out Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to say it right now. Green Bay and Zadarius Smith has been playing pretty well, too, as well there at the linebacker
And
spot.
Preston Smith.
Yeah, he's been doing
Both
too.
the Smith
Yeah,
brothers.
the Smith and Smith. The Smith and Smith law
It's the law firm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so but I'm going to go with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. One of my guys that are on my nice list. I say they're still going to get it done here at home. But, again, the key, stop the run and then just dare Ryan Tannehill to win a game for him.
Yeah, it's tough to beat Green Bay in Green Bay, especially in prime time. They're kind of one of those teams that no matter what happens, if you're facing them at their home, under the lights, they seem to play at a whole other level. Green Bay's gonna be tough. I want to pick Green Bay, but because Jim picked Green Bay, I'm gonna go with Tennessee and hope that they just hand the ball off to Derrick Henry and let the good times roll.
Man, you know what? What's the over-under of, how many stiff arms or mushes he's going to mush to the ground on a guy? How many times or how many guys is he going to absolutely decimate with a stiff arm?
Fatality.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
It could
seems
be
week after week. He just goes. He planned for it. On that last stiff arm, he's like, "Watch this." And just jammed the guy down here. Just like,
you know what he does well is he places his stiff arm in the exact position to throw someone off balance. And if you can do that, it's pretty easy to push someone over because you got to remember they're also running with you too. If you knock them off balance, they're just going to fall down.
Yeah, it's not even actually stiff arm. His is a different thing. It's actually here I'm preparing to throw or shove. It's a shove off. It's crazy.
Still
because stiff arms are people there and you're like, yeah, and it's I don't know. It's different. He's definitely been decimating people with that. But here we go. It's Monday Night Football here, December 28th.
Bills-Patriots.
Bills and Patriots. Nathaniel's excited about this one. Patriots, they're just done. It's done. This isn't even going to be.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
What?
Why is this a Monday night game?
I don't know. They should flex this one
Because
out, right?
to be honest, I could see this one getting out of hand.
Yeah.
I really if the Buffalo Bills get a lead on New England, whether it be a touchdown, 10 points, 14 points, anything like that, where Cam has to be forced to start throwing the ball more, this defense is going to eat it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think this is going to be a
It
rough
could get
game
ugly.
here for these
it
guys.
could get ugly pretty quick.
Yeah, I like the Buffalo Bills in this one. No
I am
questions
not
asked
going to
here.
pick
Not gonna
opposite
pick
of
opposite here.
Jim.
This is going to be crazy. This is going to be
I'm
crazy.
going to go
week.
with the Bills as well.
Who knows? It could
Even
come
though-
down to this last week here, Joe.
Right, even though it is
Could be
it
pretty
is a divisional opponent, and usually it is closer, but man, the Bills have been playing so well. So well.
There you go. That's our picks for the week. That's our show. We really appreciate all you guys that stuck around with us tonight and celebrated the holiday with us. Nathaniel, it's always a pleasure. It's really cool that you've been hanging with us
Yeah,
these past couple
definitely,
weeks,
man.
especially too,
Definitely,
and
for sure.
keeping up with us with those picks and everything too. Giving us all your picks that you have. We really appreciate that. And I have the Bills and Packers in the Super Bowl. Who knows? That would be a really good Super Bowl too. I would love to see that. I mean, that would be
cool.
amazing. I would love to watch
That'd be a different Super Bowl. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we really appreciate it. Again, much love to everybody.
Yes.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Don't forget, again, if you're new to the show, we're also, if you're watching us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube. If it's easier to do YouTube, you subscribe to us on YouTube as well. And then also on Twitter, if you want to get some other updates that we do and other things that we share on YouTube or on Twitter. And we tweet different things and things out to people and annoy other celebrities out there. So it's fun to watch on that too as well. And that's FB_no on Twitter. So we thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will see you guys next week. Maybe on time next week. We'll see, but probably not. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.